Hey everyone, today we're gonna make a video on this new camera from Aqara that I have from a while now, and the release date actually is today, the 20th of February. And this camera is actually not a camera, is everything is with Matter, Thread, and ZigBee, and HomeKit, and everything is a security system.
And by the way, it's meant to be a door camera, so yeah, it's waterproof, but I just end up using indoor because I have a lot of camera outside, and I think it actually work just fine inside as well. So it's actually a Wi-Fi version on this one, but you have a PoE version, and I do recommend PoE every single time if you can. So it means that you can power the camera through an internet cable, and that's it. But obviously, you need the hardware for it. So either you have a switch with PoE, or you can add an adapter. Otherwise, you have this version, which is USB-C, which is a 4 megapixel outdoor camera. So, as I say, outdoor, but it works just fine inside with true color at nighttime. And the nighttime vision is actually quite impressive. And with undered by AI. So it's recognized face and vehicle and stuff like parcel and animal is helping user to monitor their property in real time to, I don't know, to deter potential intruder, live and record video at end-to-end accurate. So that is actually quite good. And you can use HomeKit as well. So with iCloud Plus, you can store your video with iCloud, which is pretty neat. And you can use a NAS system as well. I'm going to show you all this afterwards. And you can pair sorry with Alexa, Google Home, SmartThing. It's actually a quite good system for domotic, for smart home, should I say, because you have Thread, you have ZigBee, you have Matter, HomeKit. It's pretty neat, really. And it's a security camera, so it's not meant to be for recording like great video and stuff, but still the video is actually quite amazing. You have field of view, should I say, of 133 degrees, which is quite good. And the aperture is one, and I'm gonna show you some video after, but quality is kind of good, even at nighttime. And you can also send your voice through the microphone, so I suppose you can do some prank as well. But the main thing, I suppose, if you use by your door, it would be quite handy to detect parcel and intruder or even friend and talk, for example, to the postman if you have a delivery and you're busy for a minute, you can just say, "Oh, you leave it by the door." It's quite easy like this, like security or a door cam. And it is a security system as well. I'm gonna show you through Home Assistant. We're gonna do some very complex automatization because it have a great connection through Home Assistant using HomeKit. So we're gonna go through that after in a minute. And this manual, which I never read manual, is actually inside the app as well. So quite good there because I never read them and sometimes I end up looking for information and I can just go on the app and you have access to the whole manual. So good point for Acura on this one. And because you can connect so many things, I also connected Aqara millimeter wave sensors. So this sensor is now available through Home Assistant as well and through HomeKit. So that is pretty cool, I thought. And you can add for do some special detection, sorry. So you can see there is a detection. So it was May. I don't know why the preview is not loading on this one, but that was an early product with beta version, so it might be different now. And you can see the quality there. So you see exactly what happened. You can see is on the living room at the time, which was 20 past 9. And I just figured out that you can actually customize your dashboard as well. So you can add some widgets, which is pretty cool. Anyway, just gonna add them all so you can have a look. And I figure as well that this app is available on any Mac laptop. So I have a MacBook Pro with me right now, and it works just fine because, well, I mean, you need Apple Silicon version of your Mac, so you need a M1, M2, M3, M4, whatever, and it works just fine. I'm going to show you that after actually. So you have a look through the apps here. You have my which is Air. I have also the door lock, which is I have to say is the best door lock ever. I tried a few one, and this one is very cool. I did a video, but I think it's in French only. So let's go through my Mac, and if I go to the App Store, I should find this app here by typing Aqara, and yeah, I download it again because it was downloaded on my phone, and now I should have it running on my Mac, which actually is pretty nice. You should be able to be controlled through HomeKit as well. I have on a different controller, so you won't see it there. By the way, if you like security, this one is called Lulu Alert or Lulu, but I'm not sure exactly. I used to be using Little Snitch, which is very cool, and I end up using this one, which is a free version, and I think is even better. And also use Proton Pass. I'm gonna leave you a link in the description, but you need password management, password, Proton Pass, sorry, or any other thing. Use one, or even the system one. If you use Apple one, you can use the password apps. But it's very important that you use password management, so you can have different passwords, sorry, for everything. So anyway, going back to this, I'm gonna copy everything here. So you can see my camera, my door lock, and the occupancy sensor from the millimeter wave sensor from Aqara. And it says here that I can start a free trial. So I'm gonna try. I don't think it's doing anything, but to be honest, it's meant to be iOS app. It's not meant to be on the Mac like this. So maybe that's why. And again, that's a pre-release version. So that is a nighttime camera. So you might think is a lot of noise on the picture or on the video, but actually it's quite good because it's fully dark. The light you see is only from little LEDs. You have the millimeter sensor from the video I sent last week or last few days anyway. So it's tiny light, and you have my server on the wall. You can see the green light, but it's only tiny lights, and you see the image is pretty clear. Yeah, I mean, you would see anyone coming here, no problem, and the face as well. So actually, very decent quality in color. There is a lot of noise, but is nighttime, so it's meant to be like this, and it's actually quite decent quality. Let me know what you think in the comments, but I think it's quite good. You can definitely see everything in the house air and the mess I have in my kitchen, for instance. But you would have no issue recognizing a face, for instance. And you have a spotlight, by the way, on this camera, so you can have the light turning on when there is a motion detection, and it would be ever better quality. So. Anyway, so just to show you an example of a night, and that is indoor. So I know obviously most of you gonna have this camera outdoor, which I tried and it was actually quite decent quality as well. So going back to the app, I'm gonna show you the system, the security system. So it offer you a widget to start the setup. So you have the home mode here, and you can select detection, like for example, lens obstruction. Uh, you can have person detection. And if you go through the setting, you have a lot of detection, like parcel detection, noise detection, like a baby crying or alarm. You have a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna show you that after anyway. But just for now, I'm gonna click next. You have the away mode. So you have the presence sensor I told you before, which I added and I pair it through the app. I'm gonna click next. There's a night mode. Again, I have this sensor here. You also have a motion sensor through the camera. But to be honest, I'm gonna use Home Assistant to do all of this, and I'm gonna show you after anyway. And I'm gonna leave you a discount or a code that Aqara gave me. I think it's 50% off, so you can use it through Amazon if you want to get this camera. And by the way, I'm sorry if this video is way too long, but I set up the time lapse so you can actually navigate through the section you want to look. Anyway, I just want to show you everything from this app because I think it's quite cool. It might be not that easy at the first place to navigate through it, but actually when you get used to it, it's quite nice. And you can see here you can add sorry different sound for the alarm. So you have police or dog barking, everything. It's actually quite funny. You have notification as well, so you can have notification which is gonna send a notification on iOS on your phone, even if you're on Do Not Disturb. So you don't have to set this up if you don't want to. It's fine. I think it's actually pretty cool. You turn the alarm off in case of false positive, and you just leave on your phone. So it's quite nice, and I'm pretty sure it's work on Android as well. I end up having an iPhone like usual, fan of Apple stuff. But anyway, it's pretty cool that you can have notification even on Do Not Disturb. So here you see you have the away mode and the night mode as well. You can add a delay as well. So let's say you want to wait, for example, 30 seconds before the alarm goes off. You can set it up through this. And we're gonna go next. So I'm gonna turn this camera. I can see the text on the top, but again, that's a pre-release and that's meant to be for iPhone. I just end up using on my Mac because I think it's kind of cool. And it's better as well to show you guys. So if I press air, we should have the camera live stream, which is kind of fast. Now, obviously, it's gonna depend of your network on your Wi-Fi and everything. So don't take that for actual thing. It's gonna depend from your own network. And you can see here it will offer you to connect to Matter and to Apple HomeKit. And I'm using Apple HomeKit to connect through Home Assistant, which is very cool. And again, I'm going to show you that after. You have the Matter here, so you're going to give you the code if you want to connect to another ecosystem. You can see here's the device connected. You have Apple Home for me. And by the way, if we go to my Home app, which is HomeKit, I don't think you see anything here. You have the door lock, which is here, but that's not through this hub, I don't think. Although I connected through this hub, so in a way is you can see here is locked, and this doorbell, I say it again, but it's very cool. So that it and this side, I'm gonna click connect, but just gonna show you the other stuff on the app. And going back to Home Assistant, so that my new dashboard I just moved a few weeks ago, so in your it's not very good. But if I going back to HomeKit device, you should see, yeah. So you have the camera here, you have two devices because as I say, I add the millimeter wave as well through the camera. So you can see you can control the light bulb. So if we go here, you can see the light is on. You have as well the security system, which is disarm. The motion is seems to have some issue, but as that's the motion from the actual camera. You have the alarm mode air, so you can set away, night, or disarm. And I'm gonna show you after how to set up that through Node-RED to do like very custom automatization. You have the live stream as well, the motion detection, which seems a bit off for me because I wasn't done for the last maybe 30 minutes. That might as well by turning on the light on and off. So, and again, that is a pre-release. You have two mute button. And by the way, I find kind of annoying when you're turning mode, there's a beep, which can be pretty loud, but it's maybe only if you do manual. I hope at least that if you do automatic mode change, it's not gonna do this noise because it's a bit loud. Going back to the device, this is the security system. So I'm gonna copy the entity and I'm gonna go through Node-RED. And I'm going to show you my automatization for the alarm system, which is starting by creating a new flow, which I'm going to call alarm. Now, obviously, you don't have to do that. You can do that from the Aqara app, no problem at all. I just want to show you some custom stuff, but you can do that for Home Assistant automatization too. This is a very more complex approach. So using Node-RED, you can do like a very lot of different automatization and very custom stuff. So I'm adding the camera here, and you can see you have a lot of different things you can do for the alarm uh, sensors. I'm not even sure what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna show you how to turn the mode in away and night and so we're gonna create all these nodes. I'm just gonna copy, paste, and rename them for now. So we have the home one here, and I'm gonna create a new one, which is a night mode. So we do have a tree node now, but nothing gonna happen unless you do an inject node. So that's just for manual control, but I'm gonna show you. And I'm gonna add a debug node just to show you that something is actually happen. Although I'm gonna show you through the app as well, the Aqara app. So we have to deploy it, and after that, we should be able to trigger this night mode here. So if I go back here, I just have to remember where the mode are. Yeah, here we go. So you have to click system monitoring, or is it not this? I'd say at the beginning, it take a few moments to get used to the app, but then it should be quite straightforward. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna show you the app itself for now, before I forgot. So you have the device setting, which is air. You have the camera setting with a normal thing you can think of. So turn off indicator light, which is cool. You can do the spotlight, change the brightness. You have as well privacy mode, as you can expect. And by the way, you can turn off this privacy mode through automatization if motion is detected. For instance, you could have it on for daytime, but not at nighttime or only on motion. The power frequency 50 or 60 hertz, which is pretty common. If we're going there, you have face recognition. So you can set up a specific timer for that. So in my case, I'm gonna put from 1 o'clock to 6 of the morning, which is basically when I'm sleeping, and I'm gonna set 10-minute detection frequency. Video recording, it seems quite cool, but again, I use it inside. The text now again is very hard to see, but once again, is not meant to be on Mac and is a pre-release. But that can be very cool. I think it's a bit different from other camera in this aspect. It's a bit more clever. You have the patient detection. I'm gonna set nighttime as well. And you have other kind of stuff like sound detection or animal detection, package detection, and lens obstruction. Hope I'm saying that's right. You have the face management as well. You can see here I have a few people here. So by clicking on them, or you actually can add a face first. So you can add your own picture, or you can take the picture yourself. So take a photo or open the album. So what you would expect, don't mind my picture here, but when you click on it, you can see every event from this person, and you can navigate through the date for see other events. So this is a cloud subscription. You can purchase it if you want to save the video online, for instance. You can also use Apple HomeKit and your iCloud Plus subscription, which I didn't try, but I think is probably a very good option. You have RTSP, but you don't have ONIF, but RTSP is kind of decent enough. I was just hoping for ONIF to add it to Unify Protect, but obviously that only on my case. You also have a offline notification if your camera goes offline, so that could be handy. You have the Matter ecosystem, and you can set this as a Matter main hub. So I'm gonna actually do that right now. And you'll be able to share your scene, for example, or automatization with other device. So the where we already looked at it a minute ago. I'm just gonna go back. Local storage, I have that for a few months now, and the storage is quite low. I expect it automatically erase after a few days. In the NAS, I don't see any option to add the IP itself, and I myself using a separate VLAN, so that might come in the future, I suppose. At the moment, I can add it. To be fair, most people would have the NAS in the same network, so that only in my case. You have the album, HomeKit, side device show with the device connected through this hub. And as I said earlier, there is this motion sensor, which actually is a millimeter wave, and you can see some statistic about the event, which I think is quite cool. Although obviously I'm using everything on Home Assistant in my case, but it's still very nice to have it here, and you can pair with other sensors, but I only have one in this case. I think the app is kind of nice. You have everything you need. And I think it's very cool that it's connected through Home Assistant as well. Like Home Assistant is my whole world for home automatization, so it's very cool to have this option. And as I said earlier, you have the user guide here, so you should have the full PDF there, as you can see. So in the device setting, I think we already went through it. And the log actually is quite of nice as well. So you can see, for example, I turn off the spotlight, stuff like this. So you can go back to it and review what happened. And you have a other option to enable or disable, for example, person detection and everything. And you have the timeline air, which actually seems to be in a cloud and very reactive. So earlier there was nobody, but there was light on the all. So it's showing you is not a detection at such. And if I go back to the local storage, I suppose, you can see the earliest detection, which is me going inside the house. There was nothing much happening after, but you would see everything here. So it's kind of very reactive. Again, that would depend on your network, so don't take that for a thing, but it's worked very fine for me anyway. And as I say, you have a two-way communication. You can go there and talk through the microphone and the speaker on the camera, and you can change the voice, as I said. And this is a package detection. So you have a assistant give you all the information, and then you can start. But inside my house, I don't very need it. So literally, you have everything you would want from a smart camera. I think is very well done, and the fact that you have all this remote control and hub stuff is very cool. Like I love Matter and HomeKit and everything. You can see here you can create as well some automatization and scene. So if I go on automatization here, you can have some different stuff here, so you can turn on the camera off or whatever. You can act on the alarm system as well. So this is all the thing you can do through the scene, but I suppose the automatization is a thing you want to see, so I'm going to show you in a sec as well. Although, again, I'm going to do that through Node-RED. Yeah, just showing you quickly the automatization. So I think you have a if and then system. I didn't play with it too much, but I can use this spare sensor here to detect motion, for instance. So let's say in presence, and then we can trigger the alarm system, for instance, but just to show you, you have different options. You can send a notification and you can test. We'll have a preview below there. Going back to not red, so if I press A, it should trigger the night mode. You can see it went through, and if I go there, you can see it went to night mode. So it's actually very reactive and it works just fine. I'm just gonna show you how to do automatization as well. I'm just gonna go back to the mode just to confirm it's working fine. So I did a trigger. I just need to do it again because I just do it after the deployed. Sometimes it's too fast, which is normal when you deploy something in Node-RED. It's nothing to do with Aqara. And you can see it went through and I'm in mode, so perfect. What I could use, I suppose, is automatization based on my phone if I'm home or not. And you can do the same thing through the Aqara app, by the way. But in this way, you don't have to expose your location through Aqara. You can do it through Home Assistant data. And since I have my phone connected, they already know if I'm here or not. So if I select person and myself, so Kevin, I can't really remember the status for Kevin. So I might go back to the debug mode or the developer mode actually to see what do we have here. I'm pretty sure it's and away. So if I go to states and I look for, I think it's person that Kevin. Yeah, like, it's a person Kevin, and it's um you have all the data here. But if you go down there in entity and I type person that Kevin, I should be able to see the current status. So is as expected. So I'm gonna do a switch with different status or away, which gonna allow me to have different automatization based on these status. So you just have to drag this switch node here and double click on it. Then you can add one for home and you can add a different one for away. So there you can see you have two options for home or away. So I'm gonna add this to away. So when I'm away, it's gonna turn automatically the away mode, and the same for home. I can remove this one here. So just an example, we're gonna do other stuff after. You can also add time spike filter, so it can act differently based on the time. And for this, you can. Well, I'm gonna deploy this first. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add what I like to call a master switch, which allow me to turn it on and off through Home Assistant dashboard. So this one is not really a master switch, but is if my kid are home, I want to disable this so the alarm not gonna change if they're home, but I left. And for this, I'm create this helper here, and you can see it's off at the moment. I'm just gonna copy this new entity, and I'm gonna go back to Node-RED, and it's gonna act as a switch. So if I set is on, then is gonna start or stop the automatization. I'm just gonna add first this option so I can control it through the dashboard. So I'm gonna change it here. So it was kids, and I'm gonna turn it on and off again. Save. So you can see it's here. Again, it's horrible dashboard, but I don't have time to do a proper thing for now, just to give you an idea in a way. So going back on Node-RED, I'm gonna add this new switch we created, which is here. I think is current status, if I remember. But something odd with Node-RED this day, I have to restart it or to refresh it to find everything. So is here, and I'm gonna add this kid or what was it? Was kid yeah, kid or kids since I have so many of them. Just double checking. You can just copy it here, and then you should be able to paste. Yeah. So you can put it off and then down. So meaning that if it's off, you can do something or on or whatever, and you can also hide the text here. I don't think there's an icon for kids, but it's fine. So you see the node is way smaller and easier to understand on the overflow level. I suppose it would be easier if I put on maybe instead of off, because then it would be true or false. So I'm gonna put on. I'm gonna connect all this, and then I can deploy it. I actually might add a times range. So for this, I'm gonna simply drop in air and I'm gonna add inside this flow. So by clicking air, I should add it automatically. Uh, so I'm just gonna make a bit of space so it's more visible for you to understand. Basically, you enter your GPS data air. You don't have to be very precise. You can just basically be rough enough to localize the city or even the country. It doesn't matter that much. You could use a lot of different options to do that. For instance, you can use this to trigger a node at a specific time, and for this, you will have to go down here and select at a specific time, and then you can select the day and the date, and it's going to trigger every time at this selected time. I would usually use a big timer node, but that works just fine as well. So let's say 2. Just to show you, but then I'm gonna delete it. And this is for the time range, as I said. And actually, I'm gonna take all my millimeter wave sensors. So that's the one for downstairs. So what I'm gonna do is check if there's no activity and then turn on the night mode. So I'm gonna actually make sure there's no activity for 30 minutes. You can set different time air, but then I'm gonna check after this 30 minutes if there's no motion, sorry, on other sensors within the house downstairs. And if there is no motion nowhere, then active the night mode, but only between so let's say maybe 2, or what can we do here? Midnight. And then you can put sunrise, for instance, but I'm gonna put 10 to 7, and then I'm gonna enable the night mode. So as I say, you can do a lot of complex stuff in Node-RED, so I very love it. You obviously can have different setup automatization. Do let me know in the comments if you have a specific one. I'm very curious, but I very love Node-RED. And you can pair all the sensors. For example, I have a lot of door sensors, and I could do automatization. If the door is open, then it's gonna trigger something with the Aqara alarms. So, for example, if I put the door, which is by the TV, yeah, it should be this one. And then on, so it means that the door is open. And if I validate, I can connect it to the night time frame, and then I'm gonna at night mode. So obviously making no sense, just to show you what I can do. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Honestly, I think it's a great product, and you have a 15% voucher air to use. So do look on the description, and I see you on the next one. Bye.